Have you ever sat down in the morning, ready to start your day and suddenly noticed your knees just don't want to cooperate? Or maybe it's your fingers that feel stiff and achy, like they've rusted overnight. If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. As we get older, joint pain has a funny way of sneaking into our lives, making even simple things like walking, gardening, or opening a jar feel like a challenge. Now, you might be doing all the right things, stretching, moving, maybe even taking supplements. But what if I told you that something as small as a nut, yes, the kind you snack on, could be quietly making your joint pain worse? I know that sounds surprising. Nuts are supposed to be healthy, right? And many are. But not all nuts are created equal when it comes to inflammation and joint health. Some can actually trigger more stiffness, swelling, and pain in your joints without you even realizing it. So today, we're going to talk about something that could really make a difference in your daily comfort. 3 specific types of nuts that may be worsening your joint pain. We'll look at why they're problematic, how to recognize the effects and what you can swap them with to keep enjoying your snacks without sacrificing your comfort. My goal is to give you something practical, something real, and something you can actually use starting today. Let's begin with one that's pretty popular, especially around the holidays: pecans. Now don't get me wrong, pecans taste amazing, especially in pies or roasted with a touch of salt. But here's the catch: pecans are incredibly high in omega-6 fatty acids. And while omega-6s are essential in small amounts, too much of them, especially without enough omega-3s to balance things out, can ramp up inflammation in the body. What does that mean for your joints? Imagine pouring gasoline on a fire. If your joints are already inflamed from conditions like arthritis, excess omega-6 can intensify that inflammation, making the pain feel worse. You might notice more swelling in your knuckles, or that slow, stiff feeling in your knees when you stand up. It's subtle, but if you're snacking on pecans regularly, those aches might be getting quietly aggravated. And it's not just the nuts themselves. Think about pecan pies, candied pecans, nut mixes with added oils. Many of these are also loaded with processed sugars and oils that spike inflammation. The combination can be rough on your joints. If you love the richness of pecans, try swapping them occasionally with walnuts. Walnuts have a much better balance of omega-3s, which can actually reduce inflammation. They're not only good for your joints, they're also a great friend to your heart and brain. Now let's move to another nut that surprises a lot of people: peanuts. Yes, technically peanuts are legumes, not true nuts, but most of us group them into the nut category. And they're everywhere: peanut butter, trail mix, snack bars. But here's the thing: peanuts can be problematic for 2 big reasons. First, they're another food that's high in omega-6 fatty acids, just like pecans. But what makes peanuts even trickier is that many people are sensitive or even mildly allergic to them without realizing it. This sensitivity doesn't always show up as a full-blown allergic reaction. It can appear as low-grade inflammation, especially in the joints. So if you notice your knees, wrists, or hips aching more after a peanut-heavy snack, your body might be trying to tell you something. Second, many peanut products, especially the spreads, are packed with added sugars, hydrogenated oils, and salt. All of these ingredients can make inflammation worse and lead to that familiar creaky feeling in your joints. That kind of hidden inflammation builds up over time. You might not notice it right away, but over weeks or months it can chip away at your comfort, making movement feel more restricted and painful. Now, if you're thinking, "But I love my peanut butter toast in the morning," I hear you. You don't need to give it up completely, but maybe consider switching to almond butter or even sunflower seed butter, which are often lower in inflammatory compounds. Just be sure to check the label for added oils and sugars. The fewer ingredients, the better. One more thing to keep in mind with peanuts: mold. Yes, really. Peanuts are one of the most mold-prone crops, and mold exposure can lead to something called aflatoxins, which may contribute to inflammation in the body. If you've ever had peanut products and then felt a little off afterward, not just your joints, but digestion or even fatigue, it could be your body reacting to more than just the peanut itself. It's fascinating, isn't it? These everyday, Foods that seem so harmless, things we've been eating for decades, can have a much bigger impact on our health than we once thought. But don't worry, this isn't about giving up all your favorite foods. It's about awareness. When you understand how something affects your body, you're in the driver's seat. You get to choose what's worth keeping, what needs adjusting, and what swaps make the biggest difference in how you feel. Now that we've taken a good look at pecans and peanuts, let's move on to another nut that might be quietly stirring up inflammation in your joints without you even realizing it. This one might surprise you even more than the first two because it has a reputation for being super healthy. I'm talking about cashews. Now, cashews are delicious, creamy, and often found in everything from trail mixes to vegan cheeses. And while they do contain some healthy nutrients like magnesium and iron, they can also be a sneaky trigger for joint discomfort, especially in older adults. One of the big reasons comes down to something called phytic acid, because cashews contain more phytic acid than many other nuts. That's a naturally occurring compound that binds to minerals like calcium, magnesium, and zinc in your digestive system, making it harder for your body to absorb them. Why does that matter for your joints? Well, those minerals are essential for bone and joint health. If you're not absorbing enough of them, your joints may suffer quietly over time. Imagine this: you're eating healthy, getting plenty of those minerals from leafy greens, whole grains, and even supplements. But if your body can't use them properly because of something in your snacks, that's frustrating, right? You're doing your part, but your body still struggles to repair and support those aching joints. Cashews are also moderately high in oxalates. These are natural compounds that, in some people, may contribute to joint inflammation and stiffness, especially if you've had issues like kidney stones or gout. If you ever notice a pattern, your joints aching more after a handful of cashews, or that bloated, tight feeling in your fingers or ankles, that could be a sign your body's not handling them well. I'm not saying everyone needs to cut out cashews completely, but if you're dealing with joint pain and haven't quite figured out what's making it worse, cashews might be worth pausing for a while just to see how your body responds. Give it a couple of weeks and notice the difference. Sometimes the smallest changes reveal the biggest truths. Here's the encouraging part. There are so many better nut options out there, ones that actually help fight inflammation instead of feeding it. Almonds, for example, are gentle on most people's digestion, lower in phytic acid, and packed with antioxidants like vitamin E. Just make sure you're reaching for raw or dry roasted almonds, not the ones drowned in salt or sugar. Now you might be thinking, but I've been eating these nuts for years and I never had a problem before. That's a fair point. But here's the thing about our bodies: as we age, they change. Our digestion slows down a little, our tolerance to certain compounds shifts, and things we once handled easily can start causing issues. That doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. It just means it's time to tune in a little more closely to what your body's telling you. Think of your joints like a trusted old car. With regular care, they'll keep running for years. But if the oil gets thick or the wrong fuel goes in the tank, even the most reliable engine starts to struggle. It's not broken, it just needs a little attention. And your food? That's your fuel. Choosing the right fuel can ease the strain, reduce the creaks, and help you feel a little more like your old self again. And here's something else to consider. It's not always just the nuts themselves. It's also what they're coated in. Many roasted nuts, especially peanuts and cashews, are fried in inflammatory oils like soybean or canola oil. Those oils can inflame your joints just as much as the nuts, if not more. Plus, flavored nuts like honey roasted, barbecue, or sweet chili often contain additives, preservatives, and extra sugar that worsen inflammation. So it's not just about which nut, it's also about how it's prepared. If you're going to enjoy nuts, go for the raw or dry roasted varieties without a long list of ingredients on the label. And always listen to how your body responds afterward. If you feel stiffer, tighter, or just a little off the next day, that could be your sign to try a different option. But don't let all this make you nervous about snacking altogether. You don't have to cut everything out. In fact, when you replace these inflammation-triggering nuts with joint-friendly choices, you'll probably start feeling the results sooner than you think. A little more ease in the morning, a bit more freedom in your movement. That moment where you go up the stairs without thinking about it, those are the wins we're after. And let's not forget, food isn't just fuel. It's comfort, it's routine, it's joy. So when we talk about making changes, it's not about taking away everything you love. It's about shifting the balance, gently and respectfully, toward foods that support your body instead of fighting against it. Now that we've explored some of the most common nuts that could be making joint pain worse, pecans, peanuts, and cashews, it's time to look at how we can take this information and actually put it to good use. And the good news is, once you start paying attention to how certain nuts affect your joints, it becomes much easier to make choices that actually help you feel better, not worse. It's not about swearing off every snack or never touching your favorite foods again. It's about noticing the small things that add up to a bigger difference in your everyday life. Let's be honest, living with joint pain is frustrating. It's not just the pain itself, it's the little things it steals from you. That morning stretch that used to feel so good now comes with a wince. Standing up from the couch takes effort. Even simple things like gardening or going for a walk with your grandkids can feel like too much. And for many people, the solution isn't always in a pill bottle. It starts with what's on your plate. That's why it matters so much to understand the foods that might be secretly working against you. Pecans, peanuts, cashews, these might seem harmless, even healthy, but if they're aggravating your joints, then letting go of them might just open the door to more comfort and better movement. So now you might be wondering, what can you eat? What are some nuts or snacks that actually support joint health, especially as we age? Let's talk about a few of those. Walnuts are a great example. They're rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which help reduce inflammation. If you've been dealing with achy knees or stiff hands, adding a small handful of walnuts to your routine can help counterbalance some of that inflammation from the inside out. Just make sure you're not roasting them in high heat oils or coating them with sugar. Keep it simple, raw or lightly toasted is best. Another good option is Brazil nuts. Now these are powerful little things. Just 1 or 2 a day can give your body the selenium it needs, a mineral that plays a key role in fighting inflammation and supporting your immune system. But be careful, because with Brazil nuts a little goes a long way. Too many can actually be too much. So think of them like a daily vitamin small dose, big benefit. And then there are almonds. We mentioned them earlier, but it's worth repeating. Almonds are kind to the joints for most people. They provide vitamin E, which acts like a shield for your cells, helping to protect them from oxidative stress, the kind of stress that can wear down your joints over time. Plus, almonds are naturally low in sugar and high in protein, so they make a smart filling snack. But the key to all of this is balance. If you love nuts, you don't need to give them up entirely. Just be more mindful of which ones you're reaching for and how your body responds. Maybe instead of mixed nuts, you create your own anti-inflammatory blend, some walnuts, a few almonds, maybe even a few pumpkin seeds tossed in for variety. That way, you're not guessing. You're choosing. Here's another trick that can help you stay on track. Keep a little food journal. Nothing complicated, just a few notes about what you ate and how your joints felt that day. You might be surprised to notice a pattern. That handful of honey-roasted peanuts before bed, maybe your knees felt stiffer the next morning. But when you swapped those for a small serving of walnuts, the stiffness didn't seem as bad. That's your body talking. And when you listen, it rewards you. It's also important to remember that our joints don't just rely on 1 or 2 things to feel better. They need a team effort: movement, hydration, rest, and yes, food. Think of your body like a garden. You can't just water it once and expect it to bloom. But with daily care, with the right nutrients and just a bit of patience, the results start to show. Less swelling, less morning tightness, maybe a longer walk than usual, maybe even stairs without hesitation. And if you're someone who's been living with joint pain for a while, it's easy to feel discouraged. Maybe you've tried a dozen remedies or heard conflicting advice and you're just plain tired of feeling sore. That's completely understandable. But the beauty of making small changes like switching up a few nuts in your diet is that it puts you back in the driver's seat. You don't have to wait for a doctor or a prescription. You can make one small change today. That might make tomorrow a little easier. So as you stand in the kitchen, or walk down the snack aisle, or sit down to plan your meals, just ask yourself, is this food helping my body or hurting it? That one question, asked with kindness, can guide you toward better choices without feeling like you're missing out on anything. And please don't forget you're not alone in this. Thousands of people over 60 are quietly battling joint pain every day, and many of them are finding real relief just by tweaking their food choices. You don't have to overhaul your whole life. You just need to notice, adjust, and stay curious. You deserve to feel strong. You deserve to feel steady. And most importantly, you deserve to feel in control of your own health. Aging doesn't mean giving up the things you love. It just means learning how to support your body a little differently, so it can keep doing what it does best, carrying you through this beautiful, vibrant life. If you found this video helpful, we'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell us, have you noticed a difference in your joint pain after eating certain foods? What works for you and what doesn't? Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want more simple, powerful tips for living your healthiest, happiest life after 60. We've got lots more coming your way, and we'd love to have you along for the journey. Until next time, take care of yourself, listen to your body, and remember you're stronger than you think. Here's to living your best life at every age.